WhatsApp, Facebook and Instagram restored their services early this morning after being down for more than 6 hours. The platforms were hit by an outage, I should say, late yesterday, and millions of users across the world were unable to use the apps as well as the websites. Now, in a tweet, the parent company Facebook confirming its apps were coming back online and apologizing to users for the global blackout. Well, Facebook has blamed faulty configuration changes on its routers as the cause of the outage. Well, let's get more on this story now. We are joined by Loyiso Boyce, who is Managing Director at Clyrofor. Mr. Boyce, thank you very much for your time. Let me ask you this question first. What service are you aware of does Facebook offer to small businesses?
Good morning, Polly, and good morning to the viewers. Thank you for having me on. Let's use the wording you've been using. You mentioned the Facebook parent company. So when you look at the services, we're looking at WhatsApp, Instagram, for those who are technology buffs, who love VR, Oculus platform, as well as Facebook itself. And let's go through it. So in the WhatsApp, we know that WhatsApp is fantastic for communication. And a few months ago, there was issues around privacy when they were bolstering their WhatsApp business offering. So allowing people to do business over WhatsApp. Instagram is quite simple, posting, but there is a paid element to that. Oculus wasn't so heavily impacted in this instance, but in the case of Facebook, most businesses are using Facebook for advertising, for marketing, and access to markets. And as you know, Facebook has recently launched Facebook marketplaces, which allows individuals and small businesses to start transacting and doing business on their website. So all of that went down. One of the things that Facebook also provides is authentication. Yeah. I'm sure the viewers would have noticed that once you have a Facebook account, some other platforms and applications, instead of you opening up a whole new account, they'll allow you to to use those platforms using your Facebook authentication details. Yeah. Authentication means verifying who you are. So any app, so all those things that I've mentioned, any online platform or app that uses your Facebook data would have been impacted throughout that outage.
Should there be concerned then, these businesses? Should they be concerned that as a result of this outage, some of their data may have been compromised?
Well, I've been reading up, watching videos on this particular issue. Facebook had a similar outage two years ago. This is their biggest outage so far. They had another outage about 2 years ago. And they're not known for being open. So based on what we've been told, what we've seen, the answer is no. They should not be concerned based on what we've been told. When you look at the broader picture, the timing, the number of businesses, was about between 140 million and 200 businesses that are using Facebook. Most of those are small. The chances of data, because we haven't been told it's a cyber attack, I have to say no. Leveraging my experience around how cyber attacks works and how this looks, I have to leave a question mark so I don't get sued. So I would do what I would always say. If you have the same details for logging on that you use for Facebook, for your marketplace, you have same logon, same email, out of being safe, I would ask that people just make sure that they change those logon details. The official answer is no, they should not be worried. But when you look at the whistleblower account, the fact that Facebook is going through it the most right now in the US Senate around what they know about misinformation, around what they know about the harms of Instagram, the timing is just too perfect for such a simple error. How they're explaining it is so simple. It's basically like putting in the wrong address. That's what they're explaining it. So when you connect to the internet, the servers need to know who you are and what you are trying to connect to. Saying Facebook on the internet means nothing. So you mentioned routers. Let's go with that term. we'll go with that term for the sake of simplification. Those routers need to tell your laptop where Facebook is. Multi-billion number of users in the world, you can't all use the same highway when you're going to the airport. You use different routes. Same things with the internet.
Yeah. They
split the traffic, but everybody then needs to know what is the address of where we're going, and that is what was tampered with. And they're saying it happened because of a simple update and change, but I have a question mark for you.
What is the question mark?
The timing, the size of the outage, the fact that the internal staff themselves, some of them had a problem getting access to the building, so using their access cards, they could not use internal tools to communicate internally. Mm-hmm. So if you are going to say the problem is an internet problem, why are people who need to access your environment having challenges as well? I was talking to some colleagues of mine earlier on. It sounds like bad architecture, and Facebook, it's unlikely that Facebook would do such a mistake with such bad architecture. But once again, I'm speaking from the outside.
Yeah, sure. Very interesting.
Let me put it this way.
Go on. Let's complete the conversation.
I wanted to say, just to make a point on this, Facebook in FY 2019, there had a 33% increase in the amount of adverts on their platform. They turned over $69.6 billion. Now, you tell me, if you know that you are bringing in billions of dollars via this platform, and your explanation is some routers were a problem, does that make sense to you, Polly? To me, it doesn't. It's a small problem. You have such a big consequence.
Loyiso, Boyce, you are going to turn me into a conspiracy theorist. Let's leave this conversation there. Loyiso, Boyce, he runs a company called Clyrofor. Thank you for that explanation.